Hello, thank you for tuning in for my much awaited DeadPool case mod. A big thank you to Livingston Forge for an assist on this build by providing a steel DeadPool plate. It came out great, and if you want to stay posted on their latest work, check out the link to Livingston Forge in the description below. If you didn't already know, this is Tech Sandwich, and today I'll be showing you a DeadPool case computer mod that I built and have been working on for weeks. In case you are interested in making a similar build, just look at the description below. I left links to the case modding supplies and parts as well. I bought a Cooler Master Micro ATX mid-tower case for $40 on LetGo. I bought it and I thought I might be getting a great deal since it came with a motherboard, but that was dead on arrival. So I basically broke even, sort of. I started by repainting the inside of the case, and as you can see in the picture, I also created an acrylic power supply cover. Next, I cut an acrylic side panel replacing the old scratched tinted side panel. This would ultimately show off the inside of the case. After the entire case was painted burgundy, I started to paint the DeadPool image on the outside opposite panel using acrylic markers, which I later touched up with an airbrush. I was going to sketch this out first, but I changed my mind and just let myself do it freehand from beginning to end on this. After the painting was finished, I used black ink in my airbrush to touch it up and fade in the design. I was really happy with the way it turned out, so I decided to ask my friend Daniel to forge a steel plate with a DeadPool font on it. The case needed dimensions, so Daniel basically created the DeadPool font in his spare time, then attached it using a rivet gun, epoxy, and clamps. It was a fun project, not to mention I got to see some other forging in the process while I was there. After the DeadPool logo was attached, I repainted the top of the case to clean it up a little bit, and then I just put it all together and ran some benchmarks. It turned out exactly how I wanted it to, which rarely happens, but it did in this case, and I'm almost sorry to see it let go. But I will be auctioning this on eBay and local selling sites starting at the exact price I paid for the parts. A lot of time and work was put into this build by not only myself but Livingston Forge, so I hope this auction does well enough to cover the unaccounted for cost of time and labor. Half of that time was spent researching the best builds with the budget I had of $600. Since I had a Micro ATX already, I started looking for the best budget CPU. Intel's Pentium G4560 was praised by some of the most popular channels I subscribe to, like Linus Tech Tips and JZ2 Cents, along with many other not so well known channels, so I decided to give it a try. The reason this CPU is so popular is mainly because it is under $100. And although it is technically dual core, it is hyper-threaded, and its benchmarks are consistently 90% to that of an Intel quad-core i3, which goes for twice the price. Not only that, it is currently the most in-demand CPU anywhere on the market. Next, I wanted to have liquid cooling primarily for the aesthetic value, so I bought the EVGA closed-loop CPU cooler. It was just under $40 and was all I really needed to keep the CPU in the proper temperature range. Plus, it was very easy to install. Next, I got 8 gigs of the Patriot Viper DDR4 3000 MHz of RAM. Not only was this a decent price, but it came the exact same color I needed it to match the rest of the case. Since we are building a low budget build, I got the EVGA 500 watt power supply. That's all I needed for this particular build, and it worked perfectly. And for the moment, most have been waiting for the graphics card, of course. I initially went with the GTX GeForce 730, which was just garbage. I had to actually take a loss on it, so I resold it, got half of my money back. But on the brighter side, I ended up finding a great deal on the EVGA superclocked 2GB GDDR5 GeForce GTX 1050. The benchmark for the graphics card alone increased the entire performance by 50% in NovaBench. I bought a few new other accessories with this build, which I will throw in for free once I sell it, including the Wi-Fi, also the Red Dragon RGB gaming keyboard and mouse, which I also included a 27-inch gaming pad to match the entire setup. So that's it for today. Thanks again for watching, and as always, till next time.